Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 4th annual Tom Horn Day.
You look at a cowboy and you automatically think that's one of the toughest people you'll meet. We ride bulls, we ride broncs, we're not afraid to look death in the face, and we have that personality type that we are strong. But having a mental illness or fighting demons or substance abuse, those are just as stronger.
There's a lot more stigma and taboo, I guess, behind talking about depression and suicidal ideations. I don't know if it's just a Wyoming thing or if it's a nation thing or global, I don't know, but it's perceived as men aren't allowed to share their feelings.
Yes, I'm very aware. I've had very close friends that have passed away from suicide, probably around 10.
I just enjoy being around the livestock. They're just not much prettier than horses and cows, in my opinion. Guys take a lot of pride in their land, and I think that's what I enjoy most is the accomplishments of the everyday activities, seeing these babies born every year and seeing the cows have calves and just getting to be around them every day. And I don't have kids, so this is as close to the family atmospheres I've got. Farmers and ranchers are some of the poorest people you ever meet. We're just happy to get a meal and be able to provide for our livestock, or be able to plant our crops. And a lot of times we're just struggle just to make ends meet. We've got banks calling us wanting money, and we've got debt we got to pay, and when we financially fail or struggle to pay our bills, that puts a whole emotional burden that we've failed, and I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons that factors in. I can think of like 5 right now that I knew personally. In the last probably 5 years since I've been here, it's probably averaged about 1 a year. And I don't know a whole lot of people. We aren't scared of work. Like, we'll go do whatever it takes to get the job done. And that's kind of our mentality. Like, we should be able to get through it ourselves. That we do stuff every day and never had to call on anyone to help us.
And then 2013 was the first breaking point. I had a plan, and I was gonna follow through with it. My plan was I went to work early, went and delivered some product to material to a customer, and on my way back I was just gonna come straight home and attempt suicide. My plan was to come here and grab a pistol and shoot myself. And as soon as my tires hit the interstate, everything changed. Don't know why, but everything changed. I wanted to live. And then in 2017, same thing just happened. I was super depressed, super suicidal. And I was like that for 2 or 3 weeks maybe. My bike was pretty much right there. It was a little further back. And I sat right here so I can get as much concentrated carbon monoxide as possible. I laid my head back. I just all those texts reflected, or just saw all those texts, and I was like, well, I'm not ready to die, and tried to crawl out and got the door open and fell out of the door and literally crawled all the way over to the porch, and police came running up and took anything away from me that was harmful. They took my pocket knife, and which is understandable, and my mom and wife came up and saw me. Paramedics came up and took me to the hospital. That time it was just all just sad, self-pity, self-doubt, not worth anything. Nobody should deal with my issues. But that's one of the thoughts, is like, well, what I got going on, nobody deserves to put up with. And standing here talking about it, this is pretty much the first time I've talked about it like this with anybody. And it's actually calming to me.
It's one of the weirdest feelings. The house almost felt heavy. Just even putting your hand on the door, and you're just kind of like, you almost didn't want to go inside, not knowing exactly why. I feel like I've kind of developed that, like when he's just not vibing. There's something not right. Let's figure it out.
Back then I tried, but it was so powerful, pretty much impossible. But now I don't even try anymore. I can't hide feelings anymore. Took a lot of effort and encouragement from my wife to get me to open up. I was just trying to get comfortable with my own thoughts and feelings and releasing those. Sometimes they're embarrassing. To me, that was the hardest part, is getting over the fact of being comfortable with talking about it.
I think in the beginning, because I didn't know how to get him to open up. And so it got to a point where I purposely would get us into a fight to either get the emotions out. That was a really big crash course with us. Come here. Sit. Wait.
It's just, I don't know if it's just a Wyoming thing, or if it's a nation thing, or global, I don't know. But it's perceived as men aren't allowed to share their feelings.
Hey, this is Rand Seeley. Just want to take a minute and talk to you guys real quick. We're starting a new campaign. It's a suicide prevention campaign called No More Empty Saddles. And it's been a battle in the ag community for years and years and years. And Tom Horndays and myself, Seeley Rodeo, Seeley Remuda, we want to start giving back and trying to do more to prevent that stuff.
There needs to be that acknowledgement that the Western states have different issues to be dealt with. Number one is resources, mental health resources. A lot of our care in Wyoming comes from nurse practitioners because we don't have enough doctors. We don't have a lot of substance abuse providers. There's always a waiting list. Oftentimes, especially for men, they feel like they're a failure to their family. They're just a greater risk. And part of it is the mentality, the stigma of mental health and substance abuse. Fear of being judged, fear of reaching out. So you have organizations like No More Empty Saddles, where we're on the ground, we're out talking. I'm not sitting in an office waiting for somebody to call me. I'm at the rodeo. I'm talking to people. So I was set up in the pasture first night, and it was cold, and it was raining, and it was muddy, and it was just miserable. And there was a knock on my door. And when I opened up the door, there was a young man standing there, and he had his hat off, and he said, "Are you the suicide lady?" And I kind of giggled and said, "Well, If you're trying to do it, the answer is no. If you want help not doing it, the answer is yes. And he kind of stopped and went, oh yeah, no, can we just talk? And I said, sure. Sometimes that's all anyone needs is an ear. They just need someone, they don't need someone to fix their problems. They just need somebody to listen.
Iggy's, do you want to help?
Yes.
Okay. Huh? You gonna help too? Okay.
When I was happy, I was really happy. I liked the feeling, I liked to be that way, and I wanted to be that way. And then on top of that was loved ones, my wife, my parents, friends. Those were also what gave me fuel or drive. Since our kids have been born, I've been seeing a therapist a little more often. I'm probably seeing a therapist every 3 to 6 weeks, depending. More I guess average about 4 weeks. Still taking medication. So lithium twice a day, lamochargine once a day, propranolol twice a day, bupropion twice a day. I think it's because all my efforts and hard work and applying all these tools is why I'm able to notice it so quickly, and it doesn't get as bad, it doesn't get as severe. The way I've seen this group is us to teach them to notify their triggers, work with them, and build tools and move on and apply that to their life, not to keep coming back. I needed to get healthy again before I could help people out. And actually it was probably December of 2019, I think is when I finally got back into helping people out with and suicide prevention, awareness. So, and that's actually when we started our SUSA group, our Survivors of Suicide Attempt group. And it's an 8-week course. Start to realize who you are on a little bit different level, and then notice what your triggers are, and how to stop those triggers, and then use tools to get yourself better, and then apply that in your day-to-day life. Help me out.
I'm just amazed how far you've come. You've really put in a ton of work, not only for everybody, but for yourself, and you seem a lot happier. And,
just a little bit.
just a little bit. And I appreciate how much you actually want to help other people, and it seems to help you when you are able to help other people, and that's always really cool to see that drive.
Thanks. Thanks. It's nice to know the appreciation and support, even though I knew it was there. It's just nice to hear you say it.
I think it's just never discount someone else's feelings. Like, don't put yourself always like, well, I wouldn't feel like that. I think that's how you would encourage just to be a little bit more open and accepting.
The fear people know, and the stigma of not being able to talk about it, the help being possibly hours away. There's not much advertisement. You don't hear much on the radio. You don't hardly see any like billboards or anything. You see a few. I think that's probably a very big part that could help to turn things around, is advertising mental health.
A lot of cowboys and cowgirls this year. The group No More Empty Saddles was organized to prevent suicide along with drugs and alcohol abuse.
We have the magnets that promote the 988, the medication lock boxes, the gun bag, the trigger locks for guns, and then the gun safe. The idea behind this is If you're down, you're just not doing okay, you're really struggling, you put the trigger lock on and you hand the keys to your pickup man.
This is out of the Hamilton fucking stock of Summit Pro Rodeo.
You know, you get on a bronc or a bull, whatever it be, and that is, for 8 seconds, that is the rankest, toughest, most physically demanding thing that you can do. And when that whistle blows, you need help. The picket man rides in, gets close to that bucking horse, and allows you to safely get off this wild ride that you're on. And they kind of put themselves in between you and the animal that could kill you.
That's the job of a pickup man, is to make sure everybody's doing okay. Pick them up when everybody's down. Whether it's in a competition or in life, everybody needs a hand now and then, and that's what the pickup men do.
We were able to assist 6 different people over the weekend. 2 of those 6, we were able to connect them with local resources where they live, and we've had a lot of discussions. So from my perspective, it couldn't have been any better. If we can help one person at a rodeo, that's the world. But this was just even better than I anticipated. Training is good because people are afraid. What do I say to someone who wants to in their life? And that's scary as well. We have to stop being afraid. And it's not just ranches and farmers, it's humans. Take that step and talk to that person.
We're all Wyomingites.
We are all Wyomingites.
What time is usually the daycare?
Hope them to be open to accepting, open to actually it's okay to talk about a suicide or talk about your feelings. For me, I consider myself extremely fortunate because not only do I have one person, my wife, but I have 5, 6, 7 maybe other people that I can reach out to.
I hope that he improves every day, I mean, which he does, and he is so great at putting in the work to become better. Giving up or leaving someone that I care about is not really an option. I kind of like him. Just kind of love him, maybe.
No, it's all right, buddy. I'm here to listen. I'm sorry, buddy. No, I get the same way talking about it too. Because I visit with people like you all the time, and it drains on me too, to where I can't even have conversations without crying too. So don't feel bad about it at all. You know, it's just part of life. You know, we care and we love, and you know, when things get taken away that we value so much, that yeah, it's a very emotional time, and there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, we all battle something, buddy. Just don't ever give up. Appreciate the call, buddy. Yep, talk to you later. I have to take calls and people are emotional, and you know, that takes away my emotion too. But I will happily take on their baggage. You know, that's the sacrifice. It's a sacrifice I'll make to save a life. I don't want any more calls from parents or family members crying and sad because their son or daughter made the decision to take their life. That's my motivation, is I don't want anyone hurting anymore. So I want the phone calls to end. I don't want any more empty saddles. I will always be there when they call, we just need to be there for each other. We're a bond of brothers, the last of the dying breed.